Start. Good afternoon, viewers. Today I am talking to Miss Stephanie Cornfield, one of the rare photographers, one of the rare professional photographers from the West who has worked in Indian independent cinema and Bollywood cinema. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to talk to Stephanie Cornfield. My name is Lalit Rao, and in this interview, I'm going to talk to Stephanie about her experience of working in Mumbai, which is home to Bollywood as well as Indian independent cinema. So Stephanie Cornfield is my guest today. And viewers, I would like to tell you that Stephanie Cornfield has clicked pictures of Anand Gandhi, the directorship of Thesis. He is one of the key figures of Indian independent cinema. Apart from Anand Gandhi, Stephanie has worked with Vikas Behel on Queen, Anurag Kashyap on Bombay Velvet, and Sajid Nadiadwala on Kick, starring Salman Khan. So this was a brief introduction about Stephanie Cornfield's work in Mumbai. And my first question to you, Stephanie, is that, Stephanie, you have a long experience of working in Hollywood and in Asia. You have worked for Cannes Film Festival for a long, long time. So how did you decide to work in Mumbai? So can you tell us from the beginning that how did this idea of working in Mumbai begin? From where it began, how it began? Over to Stephanie Cornfield, my guest for today's interview.
Yes. Hi. So it all started because obviously it's many, many years. I work at Cannes Film Festival. And since 2006, I have a continuous collaboration with the Los Angeles Times. I make special portrait for them. And in fact, that year, I can't remember on top of my head of the precise year, but I can tell you that it was the time when Anurag Kashyap just made this movie called Gangs of Wasseypur. And then what happened is that I received a lot of emails, and then I was receiving every day for a couple of days some email of this PR, and she was asking me, inviting me to come to the Indian Pavilion to meet Anurag Kashyap, the director of Gangs of Wasseypur. Because, you know, being from the Los Angeles Times, of course, they had some interest of, you know, as exposure. That's why obviously she was emailing me. And to be honest with you, I had no clue who was Anurag Kashyap. He was not that famous internationally. So I really had no idea. But because I was planning to move to Bombay, I thought it's interesting that I go to the Indian Pavilion, and maybe it's interesting that I meet this director.
Yes.
So she introduced me to Anurag. So for me, it was like a random Indian director. I had no idea. And, you know, she introduced me, and I thought, okay, this guy seems cool and charming, and, you know, why not? I told him, you know, Anurag, okay, I'd love to take your portrait, but by the way, I'm planning to move to Bombay. I would love to show you my work. May I take your number? So he gives me his number, and then then it was quite a lot of fun because there was a big party, you know, in honor of Indian cinema. It was the place to be in Cannes at that time, and Anurag helped me to get in the party, and it was really fantastic memories. And anyway, I kept preciously his number. And once I was back in Bombay, so in the meantime, I went to the cinema to watch Gangs of Wasseypur, and I loved it. And I was like, wow, not only is cool, but also his movie is fantastic. So I was really, you know, so excited to be able to get, you know, be able to meet him again. And I was hoping that I will have a chance to connect with him and do something with him. And then once I was back in Bombay, I met a couple of people, and then I told them about my adventure, that I met Anurag in Cannes and I have his number, etc. And he's like, my God, you have no idea, you know, this guy is so busy. He's doing so much things. He's directing, he's producing. It was really the hot stuff back in the days. It was incredible.
Yeah.
So, you know, everybody talked about him. And so I was like, oh my God, you know, maybe he's not going to pick up the phone, maybe, you know, and they say, be careful. And then at that time, I think he was supposed to shoot maybe in Jaipur or something. And I was like, oh my God, he's very busy with shoots. So if I send him a text and if he doesn't reply, you know, I can't, you know, if I'm calling him, if I'm interrupting him while he was shooting, maybe he's going to be upset, you know. So I didn't know how to do it. I was very hesitant, you know, and then I thought, okay, wait a minute. I made a little research. I Googled him, and then I saw Anurag Kashyap, who had some back injury, is getting surgery, etc., etc. So I thought, aha, he's from Mumbai. Definitely is not going to have his surgery in Jaipur. So then I checked the date, and it was like a Wednesday or whatever, and he got the surgery earlier in the week. So I thought, okay, tomorrow I'm going to call him. So probably he must be at his house resting or something like that. So I'm going to give it a try, and I'm calling him beginning of the afternoon. So I called him, and so lucky he picked up, and I was like, oh, Anurag, we met in Cannes. And he's like, oh, okay, sorry, who is this? And I said, well, you know, I'm the LA Times photographer, you remember? Oh, yes. So I was like, oh, thank God he remembered me. And then I said, I would love to show you my work. And then he gave me directly his address and everything. He gave me all the details. And then at that time, it was funny because we were neighbors. He was also living in Andheri. So I thank God I wrote all the address, and then he said, okay, just give me a call, come at noon to my house, and you know, you can show me your work, and etc. And then the next day I took a rickshaw and I tried to call him. He didn't pick up. I tried to call him one more time, didn't pick up. After 4 times, he didn't pick up. I was like, oh my God, he forgot. Maybe, you know, I was like, maybe he changed his mind. He doesn't want to meet me. So anyway, by miracle, at the end, the rickshaw found the building. I asked the security, is Anurag Kashyap there? He said, yeah, he's there. So I went on the first floor or second floor, I don't remember. And then, you know, I knock on the door and there was no answer. So I just opened the door, you know, I just pressed the door. And then suddenly I saw Anurag. He had like 3 people with him, and he was rehearsing, you know, he was doing some script reading. And the way he looked at me, he was like, oh, because he completely forgot that he told me to come. So it was really funny. So his dad was in one corner, and these guys they continued to do the script reading. I was waiting patiently, and then I managed at the end to show my work. And then I said, you know, I saw Gangs of Wasseypur, and I really love your work. And I assume that you work with photographers for all these years. So I don't know if you will be able, but even if it's going to be for a few days, you know, it will be an incredible experience. And I would love to collaborate with you. And maybe it's not possible if you have the habit to work with this particular photographer. He said, no, it's okay. I'm going to talk with my producers. Let's see, etc. So I was all excited when I left his house. So straight away I sent him an email, and And then after 3 days, how can I say, producer, she was working in production, she called me. Her name is Tanvi Gandhi. And she called me and she said, well, you know, Anurag would like to test you. And he would like you to take some look test pictures of Anushka Sharma. And I had no idea who was Anushka Sharma. I mean, I was just, so I was not intimidated at all. For me, it was just, you know, some Indian actress, nothing special, you know. And she said, okay, so there is no budget. And I'm like, okay, wait. Okay, so basically Anurag wants to test me. And then if I'm good, he will hire me on his movie. Is it something like that? She said, yes. And so I said, okay, done. I will do it. And then, you know, I do, the shoot is coming. I'll do the shoot. Before that, I'm meeting Anurag with Anushka. And then he's telling me, I'm so sorry, but in fact, I gave my word to a photographer I'm used to work with. So we will pay you for these images, but you know, there was no chance to work on the set, but I was hired to do the publicity work, basically. So I said, okay, fine. And then, so I took the pictures from the first day of shoot. Immediately after my day of shoot, they asked me to show images. I mean, they were very skeptical, obviously, but I made great work. So I was quite confident of what I did. And so, of course, I got I made more pictures for a couple of days. I took in picture Anushka. And actually, I had a little bit of attention with this executive producer. I was in contact, Tanvi, because obviously she was telling me, okay, I'm going to prepare your check. So basically she wanted to pay me the same price of a set photographer. So I disagree. I said, I'm sorry, this is not set photography, because I'm the director of this shoot. It's not like I'm on set, you know. I decide about the light, I decide about everything. You know, it's a different story. I'm an international photographer. I'm not like just, you know. So she said, I told you that there was no budget, and she was very, you know, tense with me, etc. So then another girl, the next morning we had a meeting with the whole crew, because, you know, I had some girls from the art department working with me, makeup, hairstylist, costume designer of the movie. I had like a whole team, you know, like with me. And there was this very sweet girl. She gave me such a precious advice, because I told her that I was stressed about that. And she said, you know what, before our and speak with Anurag one-on-one. So then I went and I spoke with Anurag. I said, listen, I met you in Cannes. I didn't know who you were. And then here we are. And you are happy of what I've done. And you know very well that I'm international photographer. This is not set photography. So I think you have to be fair with me. So he said, oh, yes, absolutely. And then when the whole crew came back, he said, okay, I think we have to be fair to Stephanie, and she should be paid so and so. And so straight away, Tanvi changed completely her expression, and she was like, yeah, of course. And of course, because, you know, he's the boss, and obviously she was just doing her job, you know, which is being tough. And, you know, but then, so anyway, I made these portraits for a couple of days with Anushka, and it was great. It was very emulating, and it was a fantastic experience. And I had great means. I could choose whatever light I wanted, and it was really exciting to do it. And then because they were so happy of my work, after that, I went back to France. So I went to work in Cannes. And after I came back to Paris, after Cannes Film Festival, I received a phone call from Tanvi again, from the production. And she said, well, we are having a big shoot with Anushka Sharma again and Ranbir Kapoor. And Ranbir Kapoor, people were telling me about him. So I knew it was a big name. I knew it was something big. And she said, will you be interested to do the shoot? I was not planning to come back straight away, you know, but I said, okay, but will you pay for my trip plus my salary and plus? And she said, yes, fine, okay. So I said, okay. So then I went there, and then on top of this job, they offered me another job because they were Vikas Bal was also working. They had this production house, Phantom Film, that unfortunately is not existing anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, and so they offered me to do the poster of the movie Queen, which I did afterwards. But first of all, I did this big trip to make this shoot with one of the biggest shoot. I mean, I don't know, maybe there were like at least 50, 60 people on set. It was crazy because there was the crew, and there was the personal assistant of Ranbir, personal assistant of Anushka, his makeup artist, her makeup artist, this, that, the studio people, this, that. It was crazy. It was huge. And it was a total mess. And I was very happy because if you keep your focus, and if you are still on top of things and able to do your shoot, etc., I was very confident, like you can do anything after you make this test of fire, so to speak. You think, yeah, of course I can do it without problem. So it was an incredible experience. And then after that, and I loved also that I was quite free in my creative process. Even though there were some agencies who were, you know, I was more free, I guess, when I did the look test of Anushka, where I had complete creative freedom, total creative freedom. This time, it was more of a collaboration, but I still had some creative space, which was amazing because I liked that. But when I made the poster of Queen, it was more, you know, the agency is telling you, you should, you know, they prepare all the particular, they make some design. We want you to shoot in that way, so you execute this. And in fact, it was quite funny because Kangana Ranaut, you know, while I was shooting, so I was doing the shoot, whatever they ask, etc. So every time I was shooting, they were seeing what I was shooting. Everything was on a screen, a little bit like when you work in advertising. It works in the same way, you know, so they can control everything. And then I remember my laptop was just there, and suddenly I said to Kangana, would you like to see my work quickly, you know? So I started my show reel, and quickly I start to show her, and she was like, oh my God, that's crazy. Okay, I love your work. Would you like to make a cover? We can work together. I'm doing this bazaar, Harper's Bazaar, whatever. And at that time, because I was planning to come back to Paris, and I didn't realize that it was quite an opportunity. I thought, okay, she said, oh, okay, no worries, there will be some other whatever. And I didn't understand that, you know, I had to seize this opportunity because, you know, after a couple of months, once I'm back, it's not the same. In French, we say, il faut battre le fer tant qu'il est chaud. I don't know in English, but there is...
strike the iron while it's hot.
Yes. Yeah.
Strike the iron while it's hot. Yes. So you have to
Yes,
seize the opportunity, and definitely you seize the opportunity at the right time. Yes, that's interesting.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, otherwise, I had the opportunity to shoot also Priyanka Chopra in Dubai Film Festival, and I knew this DOP who worked with her. In fact, I recommended this DOP, and thanks to me, she made career in India because I was the first to bring her to India, to recommend her, and she was the DOP on Maricom, the movie with Priyanka.
Mhm.
And so after I took Priyanka in picture in Dubai, she told me, she said, you can come on set. So I went to Film City and I went on set and I offered to Priyanka my portrait and all these things. But unfortunately, I didn't have the chance because I wanted to show my show reel. And my friend, and I truly regret that it didn't happen, my friend was like, oh my God, no, it's a closed set already. You are here. But I said, it's only a few minutes. I can show even to her assistant, etc. I want to have the opportunity. No, it's a closed set. I don't want. So she prevented me. She forced me not to show, which was a bit frustrating. And in fact, we are not in touch anymore.
Okay.
Anyway, shit happens. Yeah. Because I helped her,
Mhm.
to come to India, and gave her this fantastic opportunity, and she never returned. Kind of, whatever. It's another story. So in any case, apart from that, yes, I took in picture Anand Gandhi.
Yes.
And I took in picture. So I took in picture also Ravina Tandon
Mhm.
for Anurag. Anurag hired me again. I did also some look tests with Ravina. And but I was particularly amazed with Anushka, because Anushka was incredible, because she completely surrendered, which was incredible. Yeah, it was really, really good. And I took in picture Anand. So it was an exciting experience. We've been around, and I met him by some incredible coincidence, and I even stayed with him for some time. And in fact, it's through him that I think he told me that he was looking for a DOP, and then and I clicked his portrait. And Oshim Aliwala, I met him in the film bazaar, thanks to my good friend Anu Rangachar, who is a dear friend of mine. She was the head of
Mumbai.
you know
Festival.
Anu?
Anu, I know. Yes.
Oh, okay. She's a very good friend. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was the head of the international program of of Mumbai Film Festival. Anyway, now she's doing other things. She's in Los Angeles, and we are in touch. And anyway, she very nicely introduced me to Oshim Aliwala in the Film Bazaar, and he hired me to take his portrait. So I did his entire portfolio, which is using when he has interviews for the magazines and IMDb, etc. And we were supposed also to work together on one of his film, but unfortunately Daddy, because it was a production with a big production house, not only is so it was a little bit of a studio, so it was very commercial oriented and more than what he was used to do when he was doing Miss Lovely. And so it didn't happen, but maybe one day it will happen. I really admire Oshim work. I think is a great filmmaker. And to finish, maybe I'll talk about briefly of my experience with Sajid Nadiawala.
Please. Why
So,
not?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
So what happened is that I met this Italian producer who put me in touch with this Indian executive producer, Swapna David, and very interesting girl, very friendly, and we became friends. From the first moment, we had straight away we hit it off. We say that in English, we hit it off. And then she said, come to the office. She was working for Sajid Nadiawala for the last 8 years or something. And it was just before he made Kick with Salman Khan. And so she said, okay, I would like you to show your work and to, I said, yes, sure. So then she said, you should also take his own portrait. Because he doesn't have, so he's going to direct a movie for the first time, because he has always produced, but he never directed his own movie. So he will definitely need some good publicity image for himself. So she said, I think it would be a good start. So she wrote an email of introduction to him, and she put me in copy, and she introduced me. She said that I shot all these Hollywood people, and that I was in town, and that I just worked for Anurag Kashyap. And I think the fact that she mentioned that I worked for Anurag Kashyap, because at that time Anurag was really the hot stuff. And I think he, like, oh my God, he's interested in her.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like
it's a
that.
connection. Yes,
And
yes,
then she sent also along couple of my pictures, etc., etc. And then apparently after 10 minutes, he called her and he said, okay, this girl is amazing. I want her to be a publicity photographer of the movie. I want her to be set photographer. I want her to be part of our visual team. So she immediately called me and told me that. I was like, wow. So the next day, I go in his office, and I met him. He has a big office and all, and sitting. And then I said, okay, nice to meet you, Sajid. And I would like to understand, what do you mean by, be part of your visual team? What would be the area of my responsibilities, So he said, basically, when you read the script, what would be your vision?
Okay.
I couldn't believe it. This guy is a dinosaur. He's like,
Okay.
he produced so many movies. I'm like, I'm new in Bollywood. Obviously, I just arrived, but I never refuse a challenge. Never.
Okay.
So basically, I thought, okay, fine. I told him, yes, sure, no problem. So I said, okay, so basically I will do the publicity work, the set photography, and I will be like artistic director. Is that correct? He said, yes, absolutely. So I said, okay, done, no problem. So then I took him in pictures. So I took him, he has 2 offices. So I took him in the 2 places that he has. And they even asked me eventually to take in picture Tiger, who was like an upcoming at that time actor.
Tiger
And yes. So he said, I'm producing a movie in Punjab, and you could go there, take his picture, etc., etc. I said, sure, why not? No problem. Okay. And in any case, Swapna after that said, no. If you make him look good, that's good enough. No problem. You hired, So I said, okay, fine. So then just before I go to Cannes Film Festival, so I just finished, you remember, I just finished the work with Anurag, right? So just before going to Cannes, I meet Sajid in the office and I show him all my pictures. So he was satisfied with the pictures. So then we start discussing about Kick, about the movie. So, he said, okay, but I'm having second thought, I'm not sure about, I said, what do you mean? And he said, yes, what about what they are going to say, the DOP and, like the production designer, like, who is that girl? And he said, for example, if you think that the light is shit, etc., like you are going to say something and, like I said, I'm diplomatic. I'm not going to say in their face. I know how to handle a situation. You know what I mean? Like he said, no, I don't want any tension on my set. Already he was projecting. So basically it was crazy because I had to fight for something that he originally offered me. He was so enthusiastic, but he had like all these second thought and who knows, maybe people around him and who knows what happened. So I was like, he said, okay. In any case, you are hired to work on set on Kick. And I shake his hand. He looked at me in the eyes. We give a handshake and I go to Cannes. And I was supposed to sign the contract. Swapna prepared the contract. I was supposed to. And what happened is that because Anurag made me come back for the big shoot with Rambir and Anushka, I called Swapna and I told her, hey, I'm back in town. I can come to the office to give the signature for the movie. And she said, yes, come, etc. And when I come in the office, Swapna is all embarrassed and she's looking down, and because we became friends also, and she's really embarrassed. And she's like, well, he's having second thought. And I said, oh yeah, about me being artistic director, etc. She said, no, about everything. I'm like, what? yes. And I'm like, that's crazy. Have you seen the picture I shot on Anurag movie, Like Me, or meet him? Can I go and talk to him? Because also, and she was like, she was scared that I would just go because I knew where was the office, right? So she, and it was her job. I understood because his decision was made. It was her job to kind of prevent me, to block me, and then it just happened like that. So I didn't have the opportunity to try to convince or defend my point of view or anything, And then I got to know the backstage story later because in fact, Swapna had a fallout with Sajid. They were in pre-production of Kick, but they had a big fallout, and so they stopped collaborating. And Swapna, then I met her, and then basically she told me something crazy that, when I took his picture to do his portfolio. So basically, of course, during that time, I'm the director of the shoot, no? So as I told you, the difference between being on set and being, so she's that I appeared to him as too strong. And he was scared that, he wanted something more, but he doesn't understand I'm capable of doing both, obviously. It's a different story that, and then apparently he said that he was scared that I would get too close to Salman, that Salman would have liked me too much. And that he would not be able to control anything. That's what he said. So that's the ultimate backstage story. So yeah, that's all my experience. And of course, I'm in contact with different production, and I have a dear friend who is an excellent producer. Hopefully one day we'll do something together. And yeah, his name is Alan McAlex, and
I know the Jar
Pictures, Suitable Pictures now. Yes, now he has this company called Suitable Pictures. So I met a couple of people, and let's see what will happen in the future. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so guys, that was Stephanie Cornfield, an international freelance photographer, talking to you about Bollywood. In this interview, we have covered a lot of ground. Stephanie spoke about.
I can send you a couple of my portraits, what I did with Anushka, etc., to illustrate this interview, if you want.
Yes, that I can
it
illustrate. Yes, Stephanie, it's a wonderful idea that I can also put on my blog, because I'm also having a blog. When I do the transcription of this interview on the blog, I can also put the pictures. So I have a blog on filmfestivals.com, which is one of the most important website about film festivals. So I run a blog on that. So when I put the transcription of our interview, I can do. So
and this part of the interview, you can include it in the general interview when there will be the transcription, for eventually art, cinematography,
art, and yes. Okay. So whole idea is that, ladies and gentlemen, my dear viewers, this is for the first time that some international photographer has spoken about Bollywood, that too with so much of passion, so much of excitement and interest. And I thank Stephanie Cornfield for giving me her precious time. I being in India, she being in France, but we just met.
No. I'm based in India. Because of the pandemic. Let's say that I share my time.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen.
Normally at this time
Stephanie is currently in Paris, but she divides her time equally between India and Mumbai. So I thank her for all the time.
No, between Mumbai and Paris, you mean?
Yes, Mumbai and Paris. Yes, of course, India and France. That is Mumbai and Paris. So thank you very much, Stephanie, for taking some time out to do this interview. I hope you like it. You like my questions.
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much, and let's hope that we meet somewhere, maybe in Cannes or some part, and then I wish you all the best. All the best in whatever you do. Some information for my dear viewers. Stephanie has done a portfolio called Nomadic. Yes.
Nomadic Mirrors.
Yes, Nomadic Mirrors, which was a catalog. It's a catalog of photos.
Exhibition I had.
Yes, it's a catalog of pictures which Stephanie has done. It's called Nomadic Mirrors, and this was based on her work, which was done with Fellini Foundation in Switzerland. And if anybody of you knows French, then there's an interesting interview of Stephanie on internet also.
It's in English and French.
Yes,
it's translated in two languages.
Nomadic Mirrors is in both the languages, English and French. So I recommend it strongly to you. So thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much, viewers. Wonderful. It's wonderful talking to Stephanie and learning so many things from her.
And you can show the viewers also, you can show a little bit of my life where I'm sitting in Bombay, I send you some images.
Yeah, fantastic. Yes,
so they have a feel as if we were meeting there. And normally maybe we would have, but because of the situation, we would not.
True. Adding on to what Stephanie has just mentioned, let me tell you that it's been close to 2 months that I know Stephanie. We just got connected because she took pictures of a very good friend of mine, Pierre Filmo, again, who is as cinephile as me. And one thing led to another. And I believe I met Stephanie through Instagram. Thank you, Instagram. This is the real power of social media. So I met Stephanie and she subscribed to my Instagram profile and I to her and all that. And then,
one thing leads to another.
One thing leads to another. The world has become so small. Everything is interconnected. So here I am. I just spoke to Stephanie and it's been a wonderful experience. So guys, I'll be putting this interview on my YouTube channel, which is called Cinema Poet. And Stephanie, from her end, she will put on all her social media. I'll put the transcription of this interview on my blog on filmfestivals.com. You can look up to the blog. And if all goes well.
LinkedIn, I know. Yeah.
Yes. And if all goes well, the transcription of the whole interview will be put in Cinematography Art Magazine, which is published from New Delhi. It's one of the most important journals in India about the art and craft of cinematography. So thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much, viewers. Till we meet next time, stay safe, peace, love, and happiness. Thank you very much. Merci, Stephanie.
Okay. Bye.
Bye bye. Okay.